Welcome, everyone, to another Conversations, Arts, and Cinema here at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. I am Pirooz Kalayeh. I am so glad to be here with Geoffrey Guerrero, a multi-award-winning filmmaker and entrepreneur. He is the recipient of the 2009 Prosperity Nation Award, winner of 2020 Eureka Google Power Up Grant, winner of 2021 New York City Artist Court Grant, winner of the 2022 Neighborhood Business Grant sponsored by the Citizens Committee for New York City and Wells Fargo. Guerrero graduated from CUNY's Brooklyn College with a BA in film directing and minor in TV and radio. As a filmmaker, Guerrero was selected as a finalist for the 2006 National Film Nation competition for his provocative short, Here to Stay, with President Obama, Tom Brokaw, Anderson Cooper, George Clooney, and Philip Seymour Hoffman served as honorary jury members. Guerrero is currently developing 5 feature films and a semi-autobiographical episodic series about his upbringing in the 90s in the rough and tumble Coney Island section of Brooklyn, New York. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Geoffrey Guerrero here with us at SIU Carbondale. Welcome, Geoffrey. So good to see you, man. So good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you. That video reminds me of a bygone era, the 2019. That was a 2019 festival right before the pandemic.
Well, all your trailers are great. I mean, there were so many to choose from. Every
That's out of all of them that we have, that's actually one of my favorite ones because it has the music. For some reason, that's one of my favorite soundtracks of the.
Yeah,
of the
I like the
so
music.
Good
That's the one. That's the reason I picked it too. And I also love the Bowery Film Festival one too, which is fantastic. Do I play that one now and we jump right into that?
It's up to you. Yeah, this is your show.
Oh man. All right. Well, I saw that we're having buffering issues, but let's try it. But amazing. I mean, so many festivals, so many incredible films. And at least for this class, making your first film, they've really been thinking about planning and pre-production. And I'm just curious for you, how much that goes into what you do, making your films, doing these events, how much putting into the beginning and thinking about organization, does that come in handy? Does that make the difference? Is that really what it all comes down to?
I think it makes all the difference in the world. You definitely have to prepare for everything when you're making a film. You got to have all your eggs in a basket. Prepare for the unexpected. Murphy's Law, stuff happens when you least expect it. Having a roadmap and a way to get where you want to go and tell the story that you want to tell. You want to be as prepared as possible. Having a shot list, have a shooting schedule, storyboard. I'm big on rehearsal, working with actors and communicating with them and making sure they understand what your vision is. So being prepared, I think, is so important. Plan. That's my big thing before you're shooting a film is just make sure you're planning ahead of time and get your crew, everybody understands what's your vision, what's the story that you're telling, and being able to communicate that with your DP, your producers. So when you're locking in locations, when you're booking crews, everybody's on the same page. You guys are able to get to that place where you're trying to get as a storyteller, as a filmmaker. And always just prepare for the unexpected. There's always curveballs that are thrown your way when you're shooting a student film or an independent film. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, there's two stories that I remember of a couple of films that I made. Is one of my recent films I did, Prerequisite. We lost the location, so we had a temporary hold in New York. You get permits from the city, and we had a temporary hold on an exterior location in Manhattan. This was before the pandemic, when the city was packed, and it's impossible to get permits because there's so much going on. And we were told that we weren't, we have a temporary hold on the location, but if a big studio comes in and they literally buy off the whole street, they take priority over us. So the day before we were planning on shooting, we lost the location. There was a Clive Owen production, some big sci-fi film took over the exact street that we were going to shoot, and we had lost the location. We were fortunate that we had spoken, me and the producer and writer had spoken about what if we lose a location? Is there an alternative location? So we had scouted different locations. So that's another big thing about scouting locations. You want to know where where you're shooting. Are there going to be audio issues? Is there a train in that location, a train station? Are there planes flying overhead? All those little minutia goes a long way in knowing ahead of time, so you can plan for, and improvise on the set when things are happening, things that you least expect. So we had spoken about it, and so the day before we were going to shoot, we made a decision to shoot in the alternative location. It wasn't the exact same look. It wasn't what we wanted, but we just had to roll with the punches and shoot in that location. It worked out. It was fun, and we got the film, everything completed within the 3 or 4 days that we were shooting. And it's Murphy's Law, right? Things, when you least expect it, things can happen. And the more prepared you are, the more you have a roadmap and where you're going. I think it'll alleviate and help minimize stress on set when you're actually going into production and principal photography and shooting.
Yeah, I hear you. Especially in New York, especially with permits. It's very difficult. And especially when you start losing your personnel, that happens to me a lot too. The same sort of thing. They get a bigger film, they're getting paid more money, and then suddenly you lose your main DP, which has happened to me every film. I tend to lose my director of photography 2 weeks before production, and then but luckily I always have a first AC that jumps into the position, or you're kind of prepared for that too, or that contingency that even with personnel, you're sort of thinking, oh, can I replace this person with somebody else? And if that person bails, what happens there?
Yeah, no, that's true. And nowadays, a lot of people are multi-talented. They have different skill sets. So knowing what everybody's strengths are will help you out for things like that. When something happens a few days before, I got to take that higher paid gig. For whatever reason, that DP, that camera person has a family he has to feed. So he'll call you up and be like, I'm sorry, I can't do that shoot. Especially on the independent film level, right? You just always trying to make things on a lower budget scale. So you just have to be more prepared. And the more prepared you are, the better you are to tackle any obstacles that are thrown your way.
Yeah, and I also try to remind students of that too, that when it's in independent production and you're doing zero budget, and it's absolutely zero budget, don't get mad at people when they're taking the gig for the money. You got to be understanding, and you got to sort of make concessions that, okay, well, if you're not able to make the equal exchange, then that's also going to be something that you're going to run against. So you've got to be triple prepared for that possibility. You're making your choices, you're not making choices for someone that's too far out of range in that case.
Exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. That definitely helps a lot. Goes a long way.
The other thing that, at least for me, that I find prepares me, and I don't know if this helps you as a director or as a festival creator, is the storyboards that you mentioned. And I don't know what it is, but whenever I do a storyboard, like I'm really nervous about a film until I do the storyboard. And once the storyboard is done, I just feel very clean. I feel like my homework is done and I can enter the space. Is it different for you, or how important is the storyboard for you, or is it something else that sort of triggers that? And what do you do when you do your storyboards?
Well, to be honest, I am a terrible artist, drawing. I can't storyboard for the life of me. Um, so I do stick figures. I've done on scripts. I would draw a little stick figure. That's how great of an artist I am. I could draw a stick figure. That's how far I get. So I would draw on the script. I literally like just draw a little box and like the character and the shot angles. I kind of do a best representation of what the shot list that I envision in my head, whether it's a medium shot, a close up, a wide shot, whatever's on the set, like furniture or location, exterior shots, and then you convey any little thing that you can communicate with your DP, right? Because that's so critical. Is you wanna make sure your director of photography knows what's the shot that you're trying to get, and how are you going to tell it? Whether you have dolly tracks moving in, so you put arrows. I would put little arrows in the little stick figure box that I would draw, and then just show on the script if there's like specific shots that I really wanted to like get. I would make sure to draw that quote unquote storyboard, because it's definitely wasn't as good. I've seen some storyboards that are amazing. Some filmmakers can draw just amazing. I can't do that, so I do the best representation of a storyboard, and it worked. The few times, the few short films I've done, I showed it to the DP, and they understood what I wanted to get, and they were able to do a great job on it.
Yeah, that's great to remember, so that people always get scared when I say to do storyboards, and then they see if I've drawn something really well. They're like, "Oh no, I can't do a storyboard." And I'm like, "No, no, no, no. Stick figure is fine. Pictures are fine. It's all right. Whatever you
Yeah,
can do, make it accomplishable, right?"
anything to communicate, because communication is so central, right, to filmmaking, and communicating to your crew members, your cast, your DP, because your DP is he's the guy in the trenches, or the woman in the trenches that's with you shooting the film. You want to make sure they understand where you're going, and you're able to communicate. The DP communicates with the gaffer, with the electricians, depends, how big a production it is. And so everybody's on the same page. We know where we're going. Okay, we're going to set up the camera here. We're putting the lights here. The actors, we're blocking this shot, however we're going to set up, so that you communicate that and everybody understands where you're going. It makes the communication a lot easier, I think.
I think the other thing, at least with your films and knowing you, is how important the relationship with the actors are. And so I think that might be the other key component, right? Is the script and that rehearsal process with them. How much of that is where you find the film, and do you have your shot list, or do you have the vision before you go to rehearsal? Or are you taking a camera when you go into rehearsal and taking pictures as you're looking at it? Are you dreaming it up with the actors on the day of the shoot, or during the rehearsals before?
So I do have a shot list before, and then when it comes to the actual shooting time, sometimes I just throw the shot list out, because it's just whatever the situation may be, it's not going to work out. So we just figure out another shot. And also in the rehearsal process, when we get to that stage, I do bring a camera. I usually have a small camera that I'm recording the rehearsal and going through different versions, because you have one vision in your head of what you see the actor doing, and then when you get to the rehearsal, you see something else, and you see another shot angle that you had thought, and you kind of play with that new version of the shot and the new performance. You give direction to the actors, and you find something new in the rehearsal process. And then when you get on set, it's a whole other ball game as well, because things happen on set, and maybe there's too many lights in a room, too many stuff going on, that you have to like literally improvise and move the shot around. So sometimes the shot list doesn't work out. But again, and that goes back to what you're talking about, planning, being prepared before you get on set. At least you have a roadmap. You know what you're trying to do. You have a vision And then when you get to set, you're able to kind of work with what you have in your mind and on the shot list and do something else. So I think it all works out. But at the end of the day, it just depends what's the story, what the story you're telling and how you're going to tell it. And you discover things along the way through the shot list when you're thinking about it, and then when you're in the rehearsal, and then when you're shooting.
And this is the last question I'll ask and just open it up to students. But, you know, we've talked before and we've gone through all the amazing film festivals that you've created. But maybe if you can talk a little bit for these folks that don't know you and don't know the festivals, sort of giving them, you know, an overview of some of them and what they might be able to expect if they were to submit, or if they were interested in visiting, or the possibilities of seeing what amazing things you're doing as an entrepreneur in New York City.
Yeah, so I run I founded, created I'm about to start a 7th film festival this fall. But 6 festivals dedicated to championing new voices in cinema. You know, I feel that there's still a lot of work to be done in representing voices that haven't been heard in the industry. There's a lot of work, and I think now is the right time. I think it's a great time to be a filmmaker and get out there and get your work seen. So I'm really focused on just discovering new filmmakers, voices that we haven't heard before, and championing all these different voices and providing them a platform and prizes to make their career sustainable. I know how hard and challenging. I've been in this industry for 20 years now, and it hasn't been a cakewalk. It's been a lot of hard work. I cut my teeth in reality TV freelancing I did everything from driving a vehicle, a truck, PAing on sets, assistant camera work. I've done it all. And then whatever little money I would make from these projects that I would work on, I would invest it in my films. And that's how I was able to learn about the filmmaking process and able to get it. And then I would screen my films at festivals, and I was inspired. And you know, I had these ideas to champion. I would meet a lot of filmmakers who were having a hard time getting into the industry. So I wanted to give a platform and give back, seeing myself as a filmmaker. And you know, that's why I created these festivals. And we've been fortunate to be screening so many talent. There's so many talented filmmakers out there that are not getting seen. That's my big thing. And so that's why I've created these festivals. We're now at the stage. I've been doing this for 12 years now, where we're able to provide cash prizes. So the new film festival that I'm starting this fall, Urban Dreams Mental Health Film Festival, dedicated to destigmatizing mental health issues and providing a platform for filmmakers. We were giving away 3 cash prizes. First place is a $1,000 cash prize. Second place, $750, and a $500 third place prize. Also with the other festival that I started 2 years ago, New York Falls Film Festival, which was started during the pandemic to bring independent films back into movie theaters. We gave away a $1,000 cash prize as well to a filmmaker, so they can continue making another project and keep their dreams alive, making films. You know, if Hollywood's not going to help us out, we got to help ourselves. That's what I keep telling myself, and what I keep doing, and providing this platform for filmmakers.
I think what you're doing is amazing, and all the festivals are incredible. So you have Catra, you have Bowery Film Festival, which is appealing to experimental filmmakers, right? The Latinx, Catra Latinx.
So yeah, that's coming. Yeah, that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Yeah, July 18th to 21st. That's the new one that I started literally in the heart of the pandemic. We were supposed to go in person. We went virtual. We went online, which was not the same. But we went virtual anyway, and it's our 4th year, and we're going to be at Regal Cinema. We have a great partnership with Regal Cinema here in New York. It's one of the best theaters out here, and they give us a huge, large screen. We're able to screen this film. It's great.
Yeah, and I've been to the New Faces, New Voices, which was in the Alamo, which was beautiful. Yeah. Which and you put on such a great event. And Catra, which was in Times Square as well. So yeah. Just you put on such a great production. You're helping so many people out, and you're helping us all out today. Thank you so much, Geoffrey. I'm going to open it up to students now. If you have any questions about where you are in your films, really anything, Geoffrey can answer. If you have questions about the festival process, putting on events, business, please ask it now. Geoffrey's here for you. and you can just go ahead and raise your hand, and he'll call on.
Okay, so Dejonia, raise your hand.
Hi, it's Dejane.
Dejane, I'm sorry.
Hello, so I'm Dejane Robinson. I'm entering my third year here at SIUC in the master's program. I study creative writing. So I am taking my short stories, my novels, and I'm turning into screenplays currently. That's just why I'm in this class, because I really enjoy it. I love that you're making a space for people who look like me and people who look like you. You're changing the narrative. I think that's excellent. And I'm very proud of you for doing that for so long too. Keep up that good work. I have a few comments and questions, but before I get into that, what really resonated with me was when you had said rolling with the punches and like expecting the unexpected, because I recently just did my filming and I had a story idea and it fell through because people pull out and that happens, but I was able to find story ideas that I didn't expect. And I just simply just rolled with it. And I'm pretty proud of that. And the question and comment I have for you is, do you have a good contact information that you'd be willing to share with us in the chat? And are you accepting mentees?
Yeah, we are accepted. We work with an organization here in New York called RealWorks, and we mentor and provide internship opportunities with our festival. But yeah, that's something that we can definitely talk. I can share my my email. That's no problem. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm gonna write it down right here for everyone to. There we go. Yeah, just shoot me an email there. Any questions you have.
Awesome. Thank you.
Prime?
Andrew?
Hi, I'm Andrew Primus. As Pirooz just said, they also call me Prime, which is another way to go. And my question is kind of just about putting out, because I'm kind of deciding between two things to film. I know I'll be filming next week, but I have two different stories. One is much more kind of like a dry slice of life film versus a more like experimental and exotic one. And for just like experience, but also submitting to a film festival, what would you say is better to do for your first film, if there is one?
Go with your gut instinct. I would say go with what you feel like the story, whatever story you want to tell that story. Because we're just looking for original stories. I mean, that's our main thing, is just stories that we've never seen before. And we're very open, and it could be a slice of life, it could be experimental, you could combine both of them. I mean, we've seen a lot of that. So definitely just go with your gut in terms, because it's your first film, right? You don't want to you don't want to think about it too much. You want to just write it and put it out there. It's your first film, man. You're gonna make many other films after this, and you're gonna learn from that first film.
All right, thank you.
All right. I've never. My true story. My first film from film school, I will never show to anyone because it's the first film. You're gonna learn from when you make it and stuff, and it might be great. Just my first film was not that great.
I have another question.
No, yeah, go for it.
Unless someone else have one. Yeah, you can go.
Is there somebody else? I didn't see. You can go, Andrew. I don't think I saw anybody else.
Okay.
Ksenia.
She should have question.
Okay. Yeah, I think she can go ahead. I'll ask her.
Hi, my name is Cassiana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. What's your advice for an international filmmaker, a student who's looking to break into the industry here?
Where are you from?
Nigeria.
Make a film. Just you gotta make a film that we haven't seen. a story that's deep inside you and that you want to tell, and that you think other people will resonate with and would like to see. I mean, here in New York, it's a very open-minded culture and city. People love to see new perspectives, new stories. So tell us a story about Nigeria. You know, we love to showcase films from other countries. So yeah, definitely just make a film. It's the best advice I can give.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When I was at New Faces, New Voices with Geoffrey, they had several African films that year when I was there, if I remember.
That's right. Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
So they were fantastic. So definitely Geoffrey's looking at bringing in international voices into all his festivals.
Definitely.
Hi, Jeffrey. I'm Ashish. I'm
Hi,
a MFA second year student. I'm joining a student, so I'm on a summer break. It's great work. I went through your profile, like, you know, Pirooz has already shared with us, and I went through the film festivals. I'm a struggling filmmaker. I just make few films, and then I'm very much interested in screenings of films. Like, basically, I feel like most of the films which are made are on the online platform, but you know, on a bigger screens, very rarely people see it. You know, now because we go into that TV box screening right now. But I like screening films a lot. What inspired you to start this film festivals or film series? Like, where did the inspiration come from?
From I screened my films at several festivals, and I just thought I could do it 10 times better. To be honest, there was a few disappointing experiences that I had, and I was like, "What is this?" You know, as a filmmaker, you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into it. You want to see your film with an audience, and you know, on a big screen. So I had some unpleasant experiences at a few festivals. So I just, you know, and it wasn't just me. I heard from several other filmmakers. I saw that there was an opportunity to really provide an opportunity and platform for filmmakers, and that's it. And then I just started it. I had an opportunity. You know, my brother knew an owner. I wasn't going to do it because I'm a filmmaker. That's how I started. I'm a filmmaker first. So my whole thing was I was always going to be a filmmaker. So my brother knew the owner of a bar. It started off in a little bar in Manhattan, and I just started doing it. It took off really quickly. We were getting a huge turnout, and it really took off the first few years. And filmmakers really loved it. And they were meeting other collaborators because at festivals, that's where you meet future collaborators as well. You learn about storytelling, and yeah, that's how I started.
You know, I did something called screening kiosks in rural villages of India. Like, I'm from India, so as a community, I did a lot of work with communities. So one of the thing what I did is I used to make films with the rural people and display their films on the screens in their villages, and the happiness I see on their face when they see their face on the big screen is like different. So, like, you know, I'm doing something for my artwork next semester. So any tips you want to give me on, you know, if I want to see a specific screenings as a studio practice, like, would you want to suggest me anything?
I'm sorry, I lost you. Can you repeat that again?
No, I said I'm doing some studio work in my coming semester, in the fall semester. I want to do something screenings of regular series of films in a kiosk space. Like, I created something called kiosk, where I ask people to share their films, and I'm going to screen them on different spaces. Like, it could be a parking lot, it could be a library, it could be any places. But you know, how should I collaborate with different filmmakers? You know, how should
This
do
is
that?
this is in India?
No, this is in Carbondale. I'm
here in the States.
Yeah, I'm in the
In the
States.
Carbondale. Okay. Talk to different so you, as with filmmakers, you want to, yeah, talk to. I mean, you're in a college with a bunch of filmmakers, so definitely talk to them and ask them if they'll let you screen their films. And I'm sure they'll love to be a part of it. Everybody loves to see their film on a big screen in a parking lot. But my thing is, when I started out, I would go to different restaurants and like small businesses and ask them for donations. I'd be like, "Hey, I'm doing this little screening event. Do you want to donate something that we can give like as a prize to a filmmaker or as a raffle giveaway for an audience? Because in order to incentivize the audience to come out, you do something like that where you'd be like, hey, if you guys come out, it's free to attend, and we'll give you guys a free a $50 voucher or $25 gift certificate for a restaurant, which will benefit the restaurant too, right? Because someone goes to a restaurant, they're not going to spend just $25. They're going to actually spend a little bit more. So they'll see the benefit and they're getting the word out about their restaurant, whatever small business that might be out in your area. So yeah, that's something that'll collaborate. And then start Facebook groups. A lot of Facebook groups. I'm sure there's that's social media, getting the word out there. That's social media is king nowadays. So that's how you get word out about what you're doing.
You see the brilliance of Geoffrey right now, which is it's the entrepreneurial, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ashish is thinking about spaces. So he's like, I'm going to project the film on a tree.
I know. Yeah,
I'm going to project the film on a stop sign. And Geoffrey's like, wait a second. So you go to the different businesses, you incentivize, you do this, get the vendors, but here's the key, and it connects back to what Kessiana was asking. And it also connects to sort of this idea of navigating the industry, which Geoffrey has done so well. We don't know our paths, right? Like Geoffrey, I started in reality TV. We both had the same start in reality TV. Mm-hmm. We don't know where it's going to take us necessarily, but we follow the waves that hit us, you know? And different waves are going to take us many different directions in our lives. And so you will make many different films, but along the way, what's going to make you money is going to be this combination where you're doing something that you love, and maybe like Geoffrey and I, you're doing something that engages community, that makes a difference, and also helps you make a living simultaneously. And then you've got the trifecta going, right? So Ashish, as you're thinking about, you know, like projecting onto spaces, and it's just this high art thing, you know, I think it's great to sort of take in what Geoffrey's saying about, well, what would happen if, you know, it's not in just an artistic space, but what if it's something that really goes out to the world and does become seen?
Yes.
And I think it's so often that we don't really we put things out in the world, but it goes to 12 people. That's not really putting things out in the world. And Geoffrey, if you can comment on that a little bit, I think that would be very, very important right now in this moment.
No, but and those 12 people, I mean, that's how it starts, you know. So the first few 12 people the next time it could be 50 people. And the next one after that, it could be 100 people. And the next one after that, 200 people. So I think just putting in the work and time and energy and creating something, like showcasing on a tree or showcasing on a wall, people will come. When you build it, as they say, right? The old cliche is when you build it, they will come. So I think as long as you have the dream, you have the vision, put it out there. And don't overanalyze. I think one of the first things when I started, I didn't really, even when I started the film series, it was more like a friend showcase. In the beginning, it wasn't like this competitive film series and festival as it is now. It was just like a cool place for friends and new people to meet collaborators and filmmakers. And I didn't know where I was going. I was just showcasing it, and then it just mushroomed from there. I just totally got built out. People wanted to support us. We got prizes. We got different support from the industry, and it's just there's no right path in this industry. There's definitely no right path. You just gotta put in the work and keep writing keep shooting, and something's got to give. Eventually, something will take off. And don't get discouraged, because it's easy to get discouraged in this industry. But if you believe in yourself and you believe in your vision and the story that you're telling, there's someone out there that wants to see it and is going to be moved by it.
If you were doing the series, a festival again now, knowing all that you know, would you do it the same?
Absolutely not. No, I would be more prepared. Going back to what you said in the beginning, planning. I should have sat down for a good 6 months and really think about things and planned ahead, and yeah, it would have helped out. But also then it goes, you could overanalyze and overthink things too, and it might not have happened. So who knows what would have happened? Sometimes you just gotta go. You just gotta, do it. Just don't. When you start thinking too much, because I know people that have story ideas and scripts, screenplays that they've been spending 5-10 years on, and they still haven't done it. And so I think at some point you got to just go with your gut instinct and make it happen.
You're giving us great wisdom here, and it's also reminding me of something Kevin Smith was saying about how he would never have made Clerks again if he knew how hard it was, how hard it was going to be. He would have never done it in the first place. He would have never taken out the 50 grand on fake credit cards to make the movie.
Is that how he did it? Fake credit.
Yeah, he was a video clerk manager of a video store, and then he took out fake credit cards. Well, I mean, not fake, saying he was the manager of the store. And that's how he did it. So
yeah, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it, they say. I guess.
But no, I mean, I think what you're saying is very valuable. It's sort of like, how much is the balance between preparedness and how much do you just need to just let go and just do it? And, maybe in the beginning, it's more of just doing it until but at the same time, it's like, I'm trying to give them as much preparedness as I can, so that it's at least easier through the process.
No, it definitely will be. Definitely be prepared. It never hurts any filmmaker to be prepared. It could only benefit you. Definitely having a roadmap helps.
Anyone with other questions, especially about preparedness, or did this strike anyone or get anyone thinking about anything else?
I have a question, but it's kind of off the topic we were just on. I'm going to go back a little bit, but just like about the film festivals, and I do plan on submitting, so long as I like what I make. But if I don't win by some miracle, is there still a way that I could get involved, maybe do volunteering or something like that? Because it just looked like a fun event to go to and looked good for networking. So I was wondering how it would work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely reach out to us. But are you in New York?
No, I'm not in New York, but
we're
I've
based
only gone to a film festival, so my brother lives there, so.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We definitely need help. I mean, putting on these events are very challenging here in New York. So it's mainly a volunteer-run festival. So we're constantly looking when the festival season rolls around. We're definitely looking for new folks to help us out. So yeah, please email. You can email me directly there. Me and my team look at the emails that we get. So
cool, thank you.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks for your interest.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Out of all your film festivals, do you accept screenplays?
We do. We have a screen. We have a screenwriting competition for all of them. Feature screenplay competition, short screenplay, and teleplay for episodic scripts.
Okay. Thank you.
Pilots, yeah, TV pilots. And we're teamed up, just so you guys know, with a few distribution streaming companies that provide distribution deals for all the filmmakers that are currently accepted into our festivals. So yeah, that's something that we just started last year. So every film that gets accepted or work that gets accepted gets a streaming distribution opportunity with a revenue share opportunity with the streaming company.
That's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah. Anybody else have a question? Pirooz, you have a question?
I always have questions. They don't want to ask questions. I'm just watching this cat, making sure it doesn't knock down into computers at the same time. Personally, for me, my questions have more to do with what's upcoming for you. Now, the rough and tumble Coney Island, is this going to be a feature film, or you're breaking it up to be episodic? And how far along is this?
It's in the rewriting stage. It's an episodic series idea that I have, but I've since been pulled aside to another short script that grabbed my attention. You know how you have one idea and then the other idea pulls you away, so I kind of put that on the shelf for now. And then I'm developing several other feature films with friends.
Right now, for this new feature film, did the idea come to you first as an image, or did you have dialogue in your head or a memory?
It came through reading an article in a newspaper. It was based on one of the features that I'm developing, which is my own idea that I came up with. Was through it's based on a short film that I wrote and directed called J1. I think you might have seen a trailer of it. So I adapted it for a feature length film. It was based on an article. I read an article in the newspaper, and I just started researching. I contacted. It dealt with human trafficking and an investigation that was going on. So I contacted the reporter who put me in touch with the investigator, and I spoke to him about the story of what happened in this article, and that's how the story came about. It became a short film, which went out to screen at a bunch of festivals, and then it evolved into a feature film. So I expanded into a full-length feature film. Feature length.
That's interesting. They say that as far as idea generation, at least within the Hollywood context, most of it is done through making sequels or remakes, taking it off, book ideas. But the other thing is newspaper articles, and you've sort of hit on something that I don't know if a lot of people are sort of looking at. And is that always the way that you're sort of, or is this the first time that you read an article and thought of a film and then called the investigator?
No, that was the first time I did it. That was after I did another short. I had done it before that short film. I had done a short romantic drama based on a relationship that I had, and it just kind of evolved into. Yeah, I used that as the genesis and expanded into a short script. So after that I did J1. I was reading an article and I found an idea. But no, I don't always. That was the first time, and I haven't done that since. After that, I have just a few short ideas that I had. The short films that I've made were either through ideas that a friend had, or a story that somebody told. I spoke to somebody. They told me a story. It sounded too good to be true, and it sounded like a great film idea. And then I just wrote it. Got sat down. It's all about sitting down and writing it, right? I mean, everybody has a story. Just putting it down to paper is the challenging part. Although I am writing something now that I came from memory, from childhood memory, growing up here in New York, and yeah, I'm developing this like short story based on that. So yeah, memory's a great thing too. You can definitely find ideas through your life, through life experiences, right? Life experiences definitely is a great there's a great well of ideas that you can generate from.
Yeah, memory is a great one. Dejanay?
Yeah.
I have one last question. After the career you've had thus far, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I hope I'm still working in this business. It's a tough business. It's tough, but it's very rewarding as well. I don't want to say it's like the hardest. I've done many jobs in my life. I just want to continue making films. I want to get back into filmmaking. I miss making films. The festival caught up with me over the past few years. I have a family now. I have a child to support and a family, so it's hard to go back into filmmaking. But I do want to get back into it full time in the next 5 years. So hopefully in 5 years, I'll be making some awesome feature films that I can talk about here with Pirooz's next lineup of stuff. You guys be already working in Hollywood, so hopefully I'm still making some independent films.
Well, can they come and help with this film project? Is that possible too?
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
No, because
Yeah,
a lot of these folks would love the crew and have that opportunity to, have that experience, whether it's being a PA or, helping in any capacity. And some of them have actual great skills to help out too.
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely make that happen. Definitely going to need a lot of help. Some of these projects, as soon as I get it off the ground, definitely be in touch with you, Pirooz. Yeah.
You can always depend on me. Any role you need, I'll just be that for you. You're the best boy. I'll be your best boy.
Yeah, they connect.
Let's thank Geoffrey for being here with us. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure as always.
Always an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, your wisdom. Can't wait to see your films, and we can't wait to come to your festivals.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I hope I made sense. And keep making films. Don't get discouraged. I mean, I want to leave you guys like it's being an artist, it's hard. You're by yourself. It's a very solitary work. You're focused. It takes time. Just write and then find a way to shoot it. It's as cliched as it sounds. When there's a will, there's a way. I mean, there's a reason it's a cliche, right? It's up to you. You guys have to like really go out there and make it happen and force yourself to do it, to shoot. If you really believe in yourself as an artist, as a filmmaker, or writer, just find a way to do it, and you'll do it. You'll definitely do it.
Thank you, Geoffrey.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It was nice meeting you all.
Take care.
Take care. Take care, bro.